Welcome back to 10 Tenths Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie Breout, and across from me is not Adam Nilsson because we are marathoning podcast today. He's in the middle of a snowstorm driving home. Didn't want to stick around for this. I scheduled this because I honestly didn't think Adam was going to make it, and I'm double dipping on my time. So I have Jason and Alex to talk to me about what they've been up to. But before we get into that, Alex just showed me the gift that she has been giving Jason, and it is the nicest or meanest thing you do. So what's going on here?
Yeah, so this is a piece of the old titanium 720 exhaust that broke at Rev Up, and it was just vibrating in like the heat shield bay of the McLaren. We took it out at Three Blondes Brewery or whatever, like pulled it out, and it's been sitting on like the little Lazy Susan on the kitchen table for a while. And one day it was gone, and I'm like, oh, she threw it out finally. And then Christmas, she's like, here, open this one. And I like open it up, and in my brain, I'm like, that's really cool. Like really, really cool. But I was going to throw that out. So now I have to like look at this reminder of a $7,000 titanium McLaren exhaust that is now garbage, just sitting on my desk.
All right,
it's a piece of the winning car.
It is.
Yeah, so for those that don't have, they're up more on YouTube. So it's a framed picture, not a picture. It's a frame with the piece of exhaust in it. So now it gets to sit on his desk.
Yeah, it's a piece of titanium. It's an X pipe brace where the two pipes come together. It's laser etched 720S, and then it's got like a leather looking background, so black leather looking background that it's sitting on, wrapped in a papaya orange frame. So it's really, really cool.
It's genuinely, it's a genuinely thoughtful gift.
But I was going to toss it, or make like a Flavor Flav pendant out of it to flex on the pores.
Like me.
It's you right now.
No, the people with 600 LTs.
Oh my god!
Jeez,
ridiculous.
So I was, So I was. My next question is, where's the framed connecting rod from the engines from this year?
Yeah, so I mean that was kind of a plan to do something with that, make a table, and then I've been talking to this guy for like 2 months, and randomly he said, "Oh, hey, I sent you $5,000 today for that motor. Let me know when you're ready to ship it." But it's like half torn apart. It's like all the way down to be able to take the valve covers off, pull the heads and everything. So like the turbos are off, everything's off. Now I got to put it all back together for no reason to put it in the crate and send it to, I think he's in Dubai or something.
No.
Yeah, he's in Dubai.
I'm going to assume he's paying for shipping.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to spend as much on shipping.
Probably.
That's wild.
I mean, how else do you get one of these?
I guess I didn't realize it was even for sale. I just assumed that.
Neither did I.
Did you agree on a price, or he just sent you money?
Yeah. He offered $2,500. I said, for $2,500, I'll turn it into like a coffee table in my office. And then he was like, "What do you want for it?" And I said, $5,000. After talking with Sean, he's like, "Yeah, I usually get them for like $3,000." And so I was like, "Yeah, 5,000 is a good price for me." And so I guess now I got to put it back together. Like the oil cooler, like everything's off. The whole top's off. The injectors are out. The plugs are out. Everything's out. And now I got to at least like finger tight back together. So
does he have a plan? Like, is he just going to build it up, or what's the plan?
I guess they buy a lot. This guy buys a lot of them. He has a shop in the Middle East, and then they build a billet lower block and then basically put them back together. So I asked him, I was like, "Well, how much is the billet lower?" He's like, "The cost of a new motor, basically."
Whoa.
So it's like $40,000 for the billet lower. And if I'm being honest, it's probably not any path I would ever go down.
Sure.
So,
yeah, because I mean,
it makes sense just to get the $5,000 back out of it and be like, all right, next venture.
Yeah, because those are the guys that are building 2,000 horsepower.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. these are the guys that are all about their 60 to 130 times and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
straight line.
Once the rest of the guys in track mod bring it, then you're gonna really wish you had 2,000 horsepower.
Yeah, I think what I would probably do is just build the one that's already in there. Not have to, because I guess there's issues with them. So they're machining this thing out of billet,
sure,
and then they're tweaking it because it's not exactly the same.
Sure.
So they got to sit there and make little tweaks to it and everything else. You're mating a cast part to a billet lower.
And I'm guessing they don't have the tolerances and the drawings from McLaren, so it's all reverse engineered. So it's going to be slightly off.
Yep. So,
wow.
I don't know.
That's wild.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It was very interesting. It was an interesting day. I was on a meeting and I got a PayPal alert. It was like, you have $5,000. And I'm like, for what? And then I had totally forgot that I had even talked to this guy. I gave him my PayPal address. I'm like, yeah, send it friends and family. We'll figure it out. But that was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, so usually it's the other way around. You're sending your money to Dubai and then nothing shows up.
Yeah, nothing shows up. Wish.com something. So Alibaba.
That's wild. Just another Thursday, $5,000 just handed to you.
Just a Thursday. I was on listening to Dewey's podcast while I was working on a report, and I posted in there. I was like, I'm rich. I sold the motor. And he's like, what are you doing here? I thought you were up north at Snowball. And I'm like, no, we got back like 2 days ago. He's like, oh. So one of Dewey's friends was up at Snowball. And I was wearing a Grid Life Gold Pass flannel that they gave out a couple years ago.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I'm friends with Dewey. And I had totally forgot about it. So then Dewey asked, he's like, is Brandon back yet? I'm like, who's Brandon? But then it made sense. We actually typed his last name at the same exact time.
So, nice. Yeah, so that's why we're here, because I do want to hear about this Snowball, and I think we've hinted at it on the show. Obviously, you've talked to me about it quite a bit in person, so I can't remember. I always have a hard time distinguishing what you've said to me versus what we've said on the show. It's like I do that with Adam all the time.
It all blends together.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you were talking about this on the show. I was like, are you sure? I was talking to Adam about this. I don't think I recorded it. So, for those that don't know, what is Snowball?
So Snowball is something I created 2013. Basically, I put out a post asking a bunch of people if they wanted to go wheel in the snow in Ford Raptors. So it's a Ford Raptor only event. And at the first one was called the Snowball 500. I based it off of basically the premise of Gumball, but in the snow. It was a point-to-point where we would stay at these random. They weren't even good hotels at the time. They were just average, terrible hotels. The first one was $125. I lost a ton of money on it. And
entry fee for the whole thing?
$125 for the whole thing.
Yeah,
it didn't include hotels.
Oh,
but it included a $65 sweatshirt. And
what a Grid Life way of doing things.
Yep. This was 2013. $65 sweatshirt, full color printed, multiple different prints. It was stupid. It was the dumbest, smartest idea I ever had at the time, because a lot of people thought that was the best one that we had ever done until this year. So it was $65. It included a $30 breakfast buffet. Remember, it was $125.
Yep.
So yeah, it was placards. I think one of the guys that we both know, local high school, made the placards because it was a big charity thing and everything. So yeah, it definitely didn't make any money. The permit cost more than what was brought in. And then, so that first one was Escanaba to Copper Harbor to Watersmeet, 57 trucks. It sold out rather quickly. I would say 4 or 5 days, 57 trucks. And that was like an imposed cap. And then we did 500 and I think it was like 550 miles off-road in the snow. And everybody was in a line.
Okay, I'm not familiar with those cities or towns. This is all up in upper
they're
Michigan.
all in the upper peninsula of Michigan. Yep. So Copper Harbor is like as far as you can go north into Lake Superior.
Okay.
That's where one of the ferries to Isle Royale is from. So brutally cold. Like there's a bunch of videos if you look up like Snowball 500 or Snowball pre-run video or anything on YouTube. There's thousands of likes. I'm not trying to act like it's like some crazy thing. We got back at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I made a video, added some cool music and published it. And I spent more time coordinating the bass drop to the light turning on than I did anything else. Like I spent an hour on that part. But it generated a ton of interest. People came. And then the next year it went up to like 75 trucks. The price went up to $300, still lost money. And then from there, it just exploded. So then every year it's been a self-imposed size cap. So it went from like 75 to 90 to 95 to 100 to 110. This year we had 128 trucks, all Ford Raptors, 10 vehicles from Ford Performance. So they actually brought a Ranger Raptor up, but because it's not okay to sell and they haven't done a media event, they couldn't drive it in the event. But they brought multiple Raptor Rs, multiple EcoBoost Raptors, 4 Bronco Raptors, I think, split into groups. So there's 6 different groups, and we go out and there's 5 different routes, and everybody's doing a route through the snow. Obviously, some highway driving is difficult to get around anywhere without highway, but we try to minimize highway. No snowmobile trails. It's all like seasonal roads or dirt roads that we're hoping that they don't plow. And we're hoping that there's snow. The last couple of years, there hasn't really been all that much snow. Tons of ice, but this year was drastically different.
It was so much fun.
Well, at PRI, you were kind of talking about like you were worried that there wasn't going to be any snow.
There was no snow there.
The day we left.
Until Friday morning, the day we left to go up.
Oh, shit.
Legit, in Marquette, there was 2 inches of snow.
That's wild. Which is funny because we were the snow that we've been bitching about for the last 2 weeks. That's the snow that you needed, and that literally happened in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's too much snow, like a lot of times it'll snow in October up there. It gets really cold, it'll snow, but then it gets warm again and it melts and then refreezes. And then it just starts to cycle and you end up with like an 8-inch chunk of ice on the road with snow on top of it. So then the moment you lose any forward momentum, you're just stopped. And this year it didn't rain for like 4 weeks before it snowed. The ground was like completely dry, just the snow that fell. And it was like the driest Utah powder you've ever experienced in your life. I've never been in conditions up there like this.
Jeez.
That Friday we went up, it snowed 0 until we were halfway across the UP. So we were 5 hours from home, and it didn't stop snowing for a day and a half. And then the sun came out. And when it was done, the northern part of the Upper Peninsula had 30 to 48 inches of snow.
In a day and a half.
In a day and a half.
Is that like kind of common, or is that like unheard of?
I would say it's sometimes common. It's not necessarily unheard of, but it's pretty rare.
That's so much snow. Because we got like something like that in 7 days or whatever. And it was like the record. Yeah, like the most we've ever gotten in 7 days.
Yeah, this was in a day and a half. And it was so dry, you couldn't make a snowball with it. Like you couldn't, no matter what you did, you were packing powdered sugar, basically. And you could not form a ball with it. We're just packing this thing. But yeah, it was absolutely wild. Just the snow that fell out of luck. Everybody's thanking me. I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Well, 2 days before, they were all complaining that there wasn't going to be any snow. They didn't want to come.
People were thinking about backing out. And I'm like, look, it says there's going to be 9 inches of snow up there. Like, it's not going to be great, but if it's snowing during the 9 inches is solid, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, solid snow options.
We got way more than we thought. It was great.
So did anyone back out and then completely realize what a mistake they made?
I don't think they vocalized that, but I think there's a couple that were like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, a couple people did sell their spots.
Oh, shoot.
For whatever reason.
Sure. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the spots go on sale so early. Like, I think it's usually August 14th, something like that.
Right before my birthday, yeah.
Is it like Grid Life now where it sells out in like 10 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the original Grid Life. So, Snowball, there's been years where it sold out in 7 minutes.
So yeah, just like Grid Life. That's
100,
that's
100,
wild.
115 spots in 7 minutes. 1 year. So I basically have like the highest transfer rate website thing on GoDaddy for a half an hour a year because it would crash. And then the next year, well, then I learned that I was maybe doing some things that I shouldn't. So I was putting like videos in the background and everybody's trying to load. So they're like loading videos and
oh, shoot,
all the sponsor logos and stuff. So now they go to a web page and it's the smallest possible crappiest resolution logo that you could still tell is somebody's company. And there's a ton of companies that we have that have been with us from the beginning. So I really try to make it, as appealing for them as possible so that they want to continue doing this because, yeah, they get some publicity out of it and they obviously get some customers and sales out of it. But really, I want them to come because they want to come and they want to have fun. So,
no, that makes sense. But man, that is so many Raptors all at once.
Yeah, I was on a meeting today with a company that is in one of the towns that live up there. I totally forgot I even had it with them or that they were up there. And the guy starts talking. He's like, "Yeah, went to Starbucks this morning, and there was like all these Raptors in the drive-thru and stuff." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that was me." He's like, "You were in the Starbucks?" I'm like, "No, I wasn't in the Starbucks, but they were all there because of me." So it's pretty cool. It's I think it's easier to run than the rallies are.
Is there less to coordinate? Because are you based out of like one hotel and then you go
one hotel? Yep, one hotel, and there's loops out. The big thing is like with the rally. I mean, I don't have to inform anybody that we're going anywhere. Technically, they're all public roads, and while these are public roads, a lot of them are controlled by private logging companies. So they may be owned by the state of Michigan, but then they're leased to like Acme Logging, whatever. So I have to coordinate with them because otherwise we're going to turn a corner and there's going to be a logging truck head on at your face, which happened 1 year.
Oh shit.
It was really bad. And then, yeah, just the DNR dealing with the state of Michigan. There's groups of the DNR who don't think that we should be doing it. Usually the fish and wildlife people, they think that in the wintertime, trucks being around are going to add to the runoff and kill the trout population or something like that. So it's always a battle to really show like the positive light. And we try to minimize, I guess, what ridiculous shenanigans get out.
Sure.
There's always shenanigans that get out.
Yeah, I would imagine. So are confetti cannons a thing on this too?
No. This one is this one, the big thing is dildos.
Go on.
And blow up dolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the blow up dolls has his own Facebook. So, and some of the Grid Life guys will know. So my buddy Kevin, he lives in up by Brainerd, like 20 minutes from Brainerd. His brother, he works at a Mission Tavern in Minnesota. His brother owns it. He and one of our other friends started bringing this blow up doll to like everywhere. They bought like 50 of them as a pack, and they named the blow up doll Phil Collins. So
Phil Collins.
Sorry, Phil Collins of the Genesis fame. But if you go on to like Facebook and you type in Phil Collins, that blow up doll shows up. And then they have
the real Phil Collins.
The real Phil Collins shows up too, obviously. But they have another one. There's like a Mexican version of the blow up doll or something like that. And I can't remember that one's name, but it's something. It's like Enrique Iglesias or some other famous singer. But we go to some of these places and they bring this blow up doll in, and it doesn't have like, it's literally just a doll. It's like a piece of plastic.
It's not a weird sex doll.
Not a weird sex doll. It's just a piece of plastic with like a little thin French mustache on it.
Okay.
And like fake chest hair. It has like no holes, no genitalia, no nothing.
There's like a mannequin. There's more like a mannequin.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so like one of the most upscale restaurants in the Upper Peninsula is called the Up North Lodge, and they have like 5 of them they keep. And then whenever we come to town, there's a moose in the back, like the fake moose, and they put one of the Phil Collins on the moose, like they're riding the moose. They bring him out and they like set him at a table. Like it's a solid joke that they keep running.
That's amazing.
And then the casino hates it. The casino's like, can you put a loincloth on that thing? Like the casino absolutely hates it. So, but no, that's really the shenanigans. That and just messing with people and joking around. Like there's not a lot of out of the truck stuff because of how cold it is. Like it was, I think the highest it was all weekend was like 12 degrees and then down to like -17.
Yeah.
So if you're out of the truck, unless we're BSing and waiting for somebody, you're more than likely not shooting off a confetti cannon or anything.
Yeah, I was to say the reason you're out of your truck is because shit has gone sideways.
You're stuck and you have to get out.
So is that a common occurrence? Like you're constantly getting stuck? Like this is a 4-wheel drive off-road. I brought my winch and my tow straps because I know I'm going to get stuck 13 times today.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean,
and you wanted to sell me on this. Like you thought I had to go to this.
I mean, it is so fun, Rob.
I'm cold sitting right here.
Okay, so our friend Caitlin, the second most famous Iowan, like hates being cold, and she almost didn't come because she hates the cold and the snow. And I convinced her. We are in the truck most of the time and even like if we get stuck, there's enough people that will shovel it. Like I don't necessarily have to shovel. I mean, I do, but like she had the time of her life. She ended up sitting in the back of the truck in that video. She sat in the cold and had so much fun, and she hates being cold. Like you're having too much fun to know that you're cold, and we wear a ton of layers. So yeah, I don't know. I promise.
I was gonna say it looked like everyone kind of had like almost like snowmobile get-ups for when they were outside their trucks for this situation.
Like snowmobile or ski outfits.
We wear our ski pants, our ski jacket, like all of our ski stuff. Yeah.
So why were they in the back of the truck?
For fun.
Yeah, I mean,
just miles of trail behind, like in the back of a truck.
No, I mean, the biggest reason is so
they had gotten out to help.
Well, yeah, so they got out to help. So, all right, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
So
you guys never do that.
The thing, it's always Robbie's fault that we get ahead. So it starts out. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday thing. So on Friday, everybody drives up. The people that were in Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas City, Chicago, drove through a solid blizzard the whole way there.
Yep.
I had to hear about it. And I'm in every group chat. There's 6 groups. I had to hear about it. Oh my God, we're going to die on the way up here. Or the road's closed. Or whatever. We don't even need to drive up there. We drove through as much on the way up there as we would have anywhere. So, okay, fine. So we get up there, we set up the registration. So we Stable 303 gave us bags like for everybody.
Oh, nice.
So a bag, it had fuel treatment in it, and I think maybe quick spray detailer in the 303 bag.
I don't remember.
Cloud defensive gave everybody like a pocket flashlight, like a LED. It's like stupid bright flashlight.
Super nice.
And then we have everybody gets a sweatshirt. Everybody that's in the event gets a sweatshirt for the event. And then you get your placard, your number placards. Mm-hmm. So we hand all this stuff out, give them to everyone. There's a bar in the room, like an open bar, and we do it by group. So we're not bombarded, and I can easily keep track. It may be the best thing that came out of COVID. During COVID, we were forced to only have 30 people, I think, in the room at a time. And it's a big room. I mean, you're talking this room's 5,000 square feet.
Oh, man.
They're like, only 30 people. Well, they're all standing right in front of me, right?
Yeah, so you're only taking up 100 square feet.
Yep. But the doing that by group makes it so much easier. Like, I just pull out the placards. I'm not digging through looking for somebody. So that's what we do. And then we hang out at the casino, like BS, have some drinks or whatever. There was a lot of football watching this weekend because there's playoff games. Yep. And there's always playoff games, but these are like teams that are important to, I would say, most of the people there. So everybody there is from Wisconsin, Chicago, Michigan, Kansas City, Iowa. So Kansas City's in the playoffs with T-Swizzle in the suite cheering on. Green Bay's in the playoffs. Detroit's in the playoffs. So like people were rushing back just to see this stuff during the weekend.
Sure. So
we get back and we go to the hotel or casino every night and hang out, have fun, recap what happened throughout the day. So Saturday we wake up in the morning. I feel like every year it becomes a less and less speech. So like, hey, don't kill yourself. Remember, today's the first day. Like, don't just go wild. Like, you have a whole 3 more days of this. So the 2 hardest roads, somebody went there directly. So they just highway right there. Pashiki grade, which is arguably the hardest road that we do. Up until this year, I was the only one that had ever completed it. And the last time I did it, it's a 24-mile road, and I used 55 gallons of gas to go 24 miles. So I was getting a half mile to the gallon.
You're getting stuck that much.
Yeah.
Where do you keep all this fuel?
So I would carry 10 gallons myself, and then other people in the truck would be carrying 10 gallons each for me, because
he's the one breaking the trails.
The second person doesn't go through that much.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. If you're in front, okay.
So you're using the front of your Ford Raptor as if it was a plow.
Okay. Now I'm tracking why.
It's very inefficient.
That's insane.
It is a sheer wall that you're trying to move.
Especially when you have 30 to 40 inches of snow.
Yeah. So this year, one of the groups, a Zulu group, they went to Pashiki grade, and another group, I believe Echo, maybe, I don't know. I think it was them, went to Grapevine.
Which is just another road up there.
Neither one of them made it through. I think Echo probably would have made it, but they made a wrong turn, so they had to then turn trucks around and backtrack, and then you fall into the ditch, and it becomes this whole ordeal. And all of a sudden, 5 hours are gone. And
that was my question. It was like, you got a handful of pictures that this show photography has posted, so I'm borrowing some of those pictures. I will obviously tag them.
Thanks, Stan.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Stan Stanislaw, for the pictures.
So that there are cars or trucks that are way off in the ditch, which like complete opposite direction of where the road's going, and I was very curious how they ended up there.
So
you included,
me included.
Well, you purposely backed up.
So one of the guys, okay, so those two groups are breaking trail. They didn't finish those. They turned around. They come back.
Okay.
So Jeff, Doc, he's in a group Delta with Red and a couple of our other buddies. They were the group in front of us. So we left late this year because every year we leave first. They complain. They're like, Alpha's always leaving first. Like, so we just used it as like a rabbit. So we just chased them the whole time. But I gave them a 30-minute head start, and we were slowly catching them. And then one of the guys, Mike, the road turned and he didn't, I think is the easiest way to equate it. So that's the yellow, gray, and black camo truck.
Uh-huh.
So the road turned and he didn't, and he ended up 35 feet off the road.
Yep. Oh, so he was
like,
quite a ways off the road.
He was way down there. And the only thing that stopped him was this like 4-inch little sapling tree, basically, from going into a lake that's much farther down.
Oh, shit.
That wasn't completely frozen yet?
That wasn't completely frozen yet. So when I turned around, I like drove up to him and I was like, oh, I got to turn around. We're facing the wrong way. So I backed up this hill and then opened the door and got out with the truck running. And Alex was like, what are you doing? I want to relax in here. I'm like,
say that.
I'm like, put the seatbelt on. What did you say?
I still had to put my snow pants on before I got out. So now I'm like literally almost vertical trying to take my snow boots off, put my snow pants on, put them back on. And I'm like essentially falling down.
It was only 30 degrees. I got the picture.
I was unaware you were going to back up a freaking steep incline.
I mean,
I didn't want to relax.
You've been around long enough.
Half truths.
You know I'm going to find some stupid thing to do. So I get out.
I need to be here to correct his facts about me.
But that fact's boring.
I should fact check all the other podcasts you did too.
So I left the truck there just idling for half an hour.
Okay.
Which at the time I was like, yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah, it seems like nothing, right?
And then as I'm walking up to it, I smelled oil.
Yeah, I guess that is a pretty decent angle.
I wonder where the pickup tube is on this thing.
Oh, shit.
It wasn't my truck. So Justin's truck has like a bad turbo seal and it burns a bunch of oil. But the whole time I'm like, that's my truck. Well, this is number 4. Time for a new motor. But no, nothing happened.
We did take
at least then. But we winched Mike out. Shockingly, no damage. Like none.
Nothing.
Like nothing. Like I think a scratch in the wrap maybe on the back fender. No damage.
Wow, that's awesome.
Got on our way, continued the route, got up to Lake Superior. There was probably 18-foot waves on Lake Superior, like crashing. It was a wild sight. Absolutely wild.
I've never seen you can surf there like a lot during storms, and people do surf in the winter on Lake Superior, but I have never seen them that big ever.
That's wild. I knew they had waves, like surprisingly big waves, but that's insane.
Yep. So then we went into Marquette, had lunch, and looked to figure out a plan. Maybe the other groups finished the routes. Maybe they didn't. So we just ended up taking more trails back. No real issues that day. The next day, we were like, all right, we're going to Grapevine. And then
that they didn't finish. And Ted and his group, Yeti, with a bunch of Ford Performance guys, are going to Pashiki Grade. The other road that wasn't
finished. The other road. So 3 of them went one direction and 3 of them went the other and like met in the middle.
Okay.
It took them 16 hours. They did it. I posted a video on my Instagram of like Red Raptor. The snow is legit. He's going like 2 miles an hour and the snow is over the hood of the truck. Like when you saw the video of my truck, the snow is going over the hood because I'm doing like 25.
Sure.
He's barely moving and the snow is over the hood of his truck. He had to get out one time and he went out the window.
Jeez.
So we get to Grapevine, coordinate all of our stuff, and I let Lester go. So Lester had just finished it's a Gen 2 Raptor, so 3.5 liter, but they pulled that out, put a Coyote V8 with a Whipple supercharger on it, and then all of the Gen 3 Raptor 5-link suspension in the back. So it's like it's a thing.
This is like the gray and orange.
Yeah, it's the gray orange camo wrapped one, Epic Octane.
Yep.
I don't think it's camo.
Yep.
No, not camo. It's like a bunch of angular lines and stuff. So I was like, all right, Lester, you've always wanted to do this. Here's your chance. Go break trail. Because to be honest, I didn't really want to. I've done it at least 9 times, and it's just exhausting. I don't want to.
It sounds like it would take effort.
Yeah, I don't want to winch all day. It's just not something that I really have a need for. So he went first, and then we were making really good progress, and then he missed the turn, which is the same turn the other group missed.
Yep.
So then we both got stuck.
And by he missed a turn, you were telling him which way to go.
Yeah.
For the record.
Yep. So he doesn't have, but I was so far behind, I didn't know which path. So he didn't have a map, and I was probably a couple 100 yards behind. And so he didn't turn down there because I told him to go straight. Then we realized this is not where we're supposed to go. We both got sucked into a ditch, and then he winched himself out, and then he winched me out, and then we continued for a while, and then he had a bunch of overheating issues. Everybody that was helping jumped into the back of my truck.
So that's
why everybody was back there. And at one point there was 7 people back there. And we're just putzing through the woods. He's breaking trail. And then all of a sudden he gets stuck because there was another split.
You took another wrong turn?
He turned there, and I came up, and I'm like, nope, we got to go to the left, not the right. And when he went to go back up, the truck died.
Oh, no.
The battery was dead. And then I decided to show off in front of him doing donuts in the unplowed section. And then we came in sideways, and there's a bunch of stupid videos for no reason, but it was fun. And then we jumped his truck with this jumper pack thing or whatever. It fired up, but he didn't have use of his winch anymore.
Oh, shit.
So something happened with the wiring setup. So the truck would run, but as soon as they engaged the winch, it would kill the truck.
Oh,
so
shit.
Like the battery was dead. So it was just pulling current off the alternator, and it couldn't sustain that current that is so far away. So we got him out. He continued to break trail. Then he got stuck. Stan flew his drone into a tree. We had to cut the tree down with my chainsaw, which, side note, the DeWalt electric 60-volt chainsaw is pretty awesome. Like,
if you're cutting down a whole tree, yeah, I would imagine.
It makes no noise, and it is super fast and pretty awesome. And way better than my old gas Echo, because I'm already carrying the battery anyways for my impact.
Yep.
So it worked out great. We got the drone out of the tree, but now Lester's stuck. Like, stuck. And we don't have a winch.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, how are we going to do this? So I went up next to him, packed out a little bit, and then Kevin is in the back of the truck holding the kinetic rope so I don't get it tangled up in my truck. And I broke trail and pulled him out of the truck out of the ditch at the same time. And then I told Kevin, I'm like, as soon as they disconnected it, all those guys jumped in and we just left.
And that's how we rode with that many people in the back of our truck for like miles.
Probably 10 miles. We would keep going.
They all got out to help, and they were like passengers in other trucks. And so they never went back to their original
Except for one.
Yeah, except for two of the guys left their truck to come help us. And it's kind of when we took another wrong turn, so we told the rest of the trucks to back up and go the right way. So there was only 4 of us that were now on the wrong path. But 2 of the guys that left their truck were now on the wrong path with us, and their truck was still back on the right path with their wife and girlfriends in the back. And so now they are miles gone, and the girls then had to drive their truck the rest of the way out, and they did so good. It was awesome.
Yep. So Kayla and Amber did great. They were almost breaking trail. They were like the second truck at one point, just ripping through the snow-covered roads.
Because their husbands ditched them.
And then, so we're just breaking trail. It's like, I don't know, 30 to 40 inches of snow probably on average. Snow's coming over the hood, hits the windshield, instantly fogs up the windshield. I'm driving like sideways, like trying to stare through this little tiny hole because you can't stop.
Yeah.
Like, can't stop. You're going to get stuck. So he just kept going. And then the truck would derate itself. So like it would overheat, and then you only have like 1 pound of boost.
Oh,
so
geez.
It protects itself. And then I would just stop. Everybody would get out. Guys in the bed would clear my grill out of snow. We were wiping the windshield out to try to get it. Then they jump back in, and we repeat this over and over and over again.
It's just wild to me that you're putting that much work into that truck, and it's negative 12 degrees, and you're overheating.
Yep.
Just fucking wild.
And then, so my buddy Jimmy that lives in Kansas City, he brought his Bronco Raptor, and then he was messing around breaking. I think he was trying to break trail. He got stuck pretty quickly, but then something happened to it. Like either the thermostat got stuck or something.
Oh, shoot.
And like he was like, it was overheating. He was building no coolant pressure. Like it was very bizarre.
Oh, weird.
And then we added some coolant to it, and then it didn't seem to happen again. He had some other issues, but really nothing coolant related. So it was pretty weird. But yeah, so we finished that road. And then we were like, everybody got caught up. Everybody came out. Everyone's super pumped. Like you complete this thing, and it feels like you cured like cancer or something. Like that's how you feel. You're like
that same feeling after you finish a marathon.
Yep. I don't know about that. Running sounds dumb.
We don't run.
But it's just finishing it is an accomplishment. Like that's the point.
So we're like, what should we do? Like, let's go into everybody's eating snacks like the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So like, well, let's go into Marquette. If people need gas or if they need something, we can like hang out there and just kind of like waste time to see if the other group finishes. So we go into Marquette. We're all just lined up at the back of the parking lot, and there's like in Walmart, and there's like a 20-foot high snow mound, and a bunch of us are just BSing. And all of a sudden, somebody goes, "Holy shit!" And we look up, and Billy, the owner of the Iowa 80 truck stop, is ripping across the parking lot, hits this snowbank, and ends up like 3/4 of the way up this snowbank.
Oh my gosh!
He was the second truck to do it.
Yeah, but he was the only one that went that high, though. Yeah. Like when I saw it, I'm like, he's flying off the other side.
Well, they started sliding down the right side. Yeah. I thought they were going to roll.
Oh shit!
But yeah, so we're sitting there. There's 20 Raptors in the Walmart parking lot. So now all the locals are coming by. They're taking pictures. You could see us from the road. So they're all coming over, taking pictures. Some people know that we're causing shenanigans and stuff. So like, the cops are coming. Like, so we just hung out there. That was Sunday. And then from there, we beelined it down to the Long Branch Saloon, which is where I grew up, like in my little town of Faithorn. Second year we've done that. We've had dinner down there.
It's this tiny little bar.
Yeah, it's like this little tiny bar. It looks like a log cabin. So we eat there. We watch some of the Packers game, I think.
No, the Lions game.
Yeah, one of them. And then we went back to the casino, hung out at the bar, and played games, and repeated the next day. But the next day, we usually have a short day because we have to set up for the banquet and stuff like that. But the big thing on that day is we were driving in the middle of nowhere, and one of the lead truck drivers calls and he says there's been an incident, and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Like, was it like you could tell from his tone? It wasn't just like, oh yeah, so and so's stuck. Yeah. It's just serious.
They never call me, like, ever.
Ah, okay.
So they're like, yeah, there was an incident. The truck called 911. The police are on their way, and the ambulance is on the way.
Oh.
And I'm like, do you need me to come? Like, I can leave the group at the road and come down the trail. Because it's like...
They were close to us.
They were 7 miles, 8 miles away, maybe. It's like they were on the road that
we're going to go on next.
That we were going to go on next. But I've talked to you about before. It's like a dirt road. It's like a roller coaster. And when I was a kid growing up, we would go out there and just set times and see who was the fastest on this dirt road in like 2-wheel drive S10s. So they're like, no, I think we got it. I got to give a statement to the police officer. Like, they all know that we're there.
Sure.
Yeah, they had gotten out of the truck. Well, then we see pictures get sent over. And I'm like, what in the world? So
it was bad.
They hit this tree, and the tree missed the front tire. So they like side glanced it.
Okay.
But it went directly in between the front tire and the A-pillar.
Oh, on the passenger side or driver's side?
On the passenger side.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously we don't have pictures of it. We're just, yeah.
Yep. So went inside the passenger side at an angle, and the tree ended up in the passenger seat, essentially.
Was there a passenger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He got out.
Yeah, he got out.
And was walking.
No. For real?
Yeah.
No clue how.
Holy shit.
It hit the tree so hard that the truck went vertical.
So okay, I just want
so it
the
hit the tree like this.
Yeah,
and then the back of the truck rotated up, and the roof of the truck hit the tree another 8 feet higher than where it impacted initially.
Holy shit! So was it should have turned, didn't turn situation, or
yeah?
Okay.
Yep.
Damn.
You could see the steering input on the ground still from when we got there. At least 3 hours later.
More, yeah. We went maybe 3 hours later. It was all they had to remove the truck on a flatbed, and
it was wrapped around the tree. The wiring harness for the passenger side headlight was in another tree in front of that tree, 6 feet up.
Oh,
and you could see when they ripped it off the tree, that harness had stayed there because it had basically wedged itself somehow in between all the it was.
You can see the mark on the tree from the roof
wild.
of the truck. It was crazy.
Wild.
Holy cow! And everyone's okay?
Yeah,
perfectly fine. They took him to the ambulance. They basically they were in
just like a
they took him to the hospital. They were basically in there 10 minutes, I guess.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, longer than that, like precautionary things and stuff, and they were perfectly fine. And they were at the banquet that night, acting like nothing had happened to them. They got so lucky. I mean,
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that they're okay. But oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yep. So we went to a Chinese buffet for lunch that day. We walk in with 40 people. That's one way to guarantee you get fresh food.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is a matter of principle, and because of my job, I don't like eating at buffets, and he knows this. And so he's like, do you mind if we go? And I was like, it's fine.
It was the easiest place to eat.
God.
When you have that many people, you don't really have a lot of choices.
Yep. We were in and out. It was super easy. And it wasn't terrible.
The last time I ate at a buffet before this was driving home after the BMW.
In Ohio?
Fire. Yeah.
Yep,
we were driving home, and we were both just exhausted, mentally drained, and it was the only thing on the exit. And we had no more energy in us to find somewhere else to eat. And I said, okay, I'll eat at the buffet. And then that was the last time I ate at a buffet before this one.
I wanted to go to the exit at that place. So there was a Big Boy. I wanted to go to Big Boy. So I got off in the Big Boy. You could see the sign, but it wasn't a Big Boy anymore. It was just an empty building.
Oh, shoot.
So then we turned down the street to turn around, and there was a buffet or a Mexican restaurant. I'm like, which one do you want?
Neither.
She's like, you choose. I'm not choosing anything. Let's just walk into a door, and that's where we're eating. But yeah, so we went there. There's a place. There's a place out there that on that trail, kind of like a scramble area. So we were ripping around, drifting, doing some donut shots and stuff like that. Tons of fun. on the way there, so the super cab, which is like the extended cab Raptor, so not the full 4-door one.
So it's like the little doors.
The little suicide doors. So
yeah,
those only have like a 24-gallon gas tank. And the other ones have a 36-gallon gas tank. Well, the casino was struggling most of the time because everyone's leaving roughly the same time. So if you're the oddball out and you took your time to go over and get gas,
there's a gas station at the casino.
You're probably not going to get a lot of gas.
Okay.
Well, one of our buddies, Chris, and Kevin's riding with him. They only put $4 in.
What?
And
So
Chris,
4 gallons.
4 gallons. 4 gallons of gas. That's all it would give him. So, and Chris prides himself on like he polished the truck before he went up there. He cleaned the whole inside. Like, it was immaculate, right?
Before he takes it on snow-covered trails.
He's like, that's how he is. Before we go out west with it, he does the same thing, just how he is.
Interesting.
So Justin, our other buddy, calls me up and he's like, hey, I know Chris is running out of gas. Is there a way that we avoid every gas station until he's out of gas?
Someone had a tank of gas.
Of course.
Like, we weren't gonna
we weren't gonna just
leave
run him out or leave him.
Someone had gas.
But he's gonna freak out if he like runs out of gas. It's just how he is, right? So I'm like, we're coming up to a stop sign in like the town I grew up in, and I'm like, yeah, I know how to do this. So we start going, and we're like, hey, Chris, how much gas do you have left? And he's like, 30 miles. And I'm like, I think I could like drive around in circles for like 26 miles maybe. So then we started asking, okay, how about now? And the whole time there's a gas station almost every turn we made a quarter mile away. But instead we turned to the right. And it was to the left. So like I'm like, Chris or Kevin, how much gas do you have left? And Kevin now starts talking like a robot. And he's like, computing, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, bop. 4 miles till empty. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, yes, we're going to run him out of gas. This is amazing.
We saw.
And then he come over the radio and he's like, just joking. I have 12 miles. I'm like, all right. Then I'm like, crap, I made a wrong turn. We have to turn around. And then they're like, seriously? I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, no. Because now they can see like the ski jump. They know we're in Iron Mountain. They know we're close to something, at least something.
Oh, we were going by a lake, and they saw a gas station on the other side of the lake.
So we went to the gas station. It holds 24 gallons. He put 23 and a half gallons of gas in. I don't think he was all that enthused.
He's the kind of person that gets very particular about his truck, and running out of gas would be a very bad thing for him emotionally and mentally.
I don't know him, but I can hear the complaints about like, the fuel pump and the just the whole deal.
Yeah.
Which is why they wanted to run him out of gas.
Obviously.
He's so anal about it.
So then we got back to the casino. We set up the banquet and everything. A bunch of the people went to the pool. There's like a water park in the casino and stuff. So, and there's an adults only pool. So we set up the banquet, and I like had to go back to the room to get something. I was like, I wonder if people are in the pool. Like, scanned my card to get in, and our whole group and like 3 other groups are all in the pool, like partying.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're all in the pool, and I'm just like shake my head like, join us. And like one person got out, and I'm like, I'm gone. Like, I had clothes on.
Yeah, you're going to that pool.
I know they're gonna pull me in. Yeah.
So is the banquet at this like a big formal thing, or is it because like
it's like a wedding?
Okay,
it's like a wedding style banquet, but like
we're just in jeans.
In jeans and t-shirts, or like I'll wear a polo or something.
It's like a buffet. It's not like a formal sit-down dinner, but it's in like a big wedding hall.
Yeah, it's not like what we did at the rally where we just all went to the restaurant together. It's more of it's an event. I got you.
Yeah. So they have a cash bar inside. There's 250 people in there. There's $35,000 of raffle stuff. So everybody buys raffle tickets.
Oh man.
For these Ford Raptor parts. And then, we donate money to Paws with a Cause. That's been our charity of choice the last few years. And then, I give like a speech. Everybody goes around and talks about their group or people that did stuff or wild stories. And I try to make funny little jokes that nobody finds funny. I find them funny. The people in Alpha find them funny, but all the other groups are like, it's not funny. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a spectacle. Like it's not as bad, I don't think, from a moving along standpoint as the rally, because it's in 6 groups.
Sure.
I think it's easier than the rallies.
And we don't really stop anywhere except for like a lunch or a dinner here or there. And we're only stopping with 18 to 20 trucks.
I feel like on the rallies, people expect to be entertained and taken to places, and I don't know, it's more of like a fancy formal thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Snowball, it's just like super laid back and cash, and the point is to go off road, and I don't know, it's just a different vibe.
But I think a lot of the people, but a lot of the people, I mean, like our group, I think if I was to we were talking about skipping the last day and just doing a spa day.
Going to the pool.
And just hanging out at the pool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was so tired. We came back, we got back at like 3:30. I set my alarm for 4:15. I hit snooze on that thing until 5. I was exhausted.
So, I mean, you're riding trails from 8 a.m. until 3 in the afternoon every day?
No, 8 a.m. and
8, 9
until 9 p.m. or later.
And then they stay up
and then
till 3 a.m.
Yeah, of course.
Then we stay up till 3 a.m. So I tell everybody that if I got a normal night's sleep, nobody would be able to keep up. So the only reason that they can even keep up is because I only have 3.5 hours of sleep. And Doc is like, that's probably factual. I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm that tired. I'm just...
It doesn't hit you till the last day.
Yeah.
It hits us when we're driving home on Tuesday.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like we weren't even going to get up. We weren't going to set an alarm. We didn't have to be anywhere Tuesday. And then all of a sudden, you're up and you're like, well, I'm up. Might as well throw all my crap in a bag and leave. What else are we going to do here?
Right.
But yeah, it's fun. I couldn't do it, obviously a lot of help from Alex, tons of help from all the support drivers, Keith, Red, Doc, Scott. All these people that you guys have no idea who they are. They'll probably listen to this and be salty if they don't hear their name. But people come from all over the country. People come from Florida. People come from Texas, Southern California, Idaho. And it's a thing. It's like it's a legit spectacle. And next year we're trying to make it even more. So there's a convention, we have this stuff in the convention center, but there's a showcase. Is that what they call it? Showcase? It's like a concert venue there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a typical casino that has concerts.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like a auditorium or whatever.
Yep. So for a few years we've been trying to get them to do. They've done a couple concerts while we were there, but now I'm like, no, we need to do a real concert, and I want tickets for everybody in the front, and we're going to have a party. We're going to arrange everything around this thing on the one day. Everybody will be there, and then, we'll go on our own way. So next year we have a bunch of things that we want to plan. We want to try to do the concert. We want to have everybody that's on the 2 highest floors all be with a Snowball, so that if we're loud, there's nobody to complain. So the security showed up on one day, knocked on the door. It's not even my room. And they're like, where's Jason?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, there's like a presidential suite that we all party in every year. It's on the 12th floor, and we tend to get security called.
And they all know who I am. Like everybody that works at this place that's been there for more than like a year knows who I am.
Sure.
The security people know who I am for multiple different reasons. One dude got into a fight in the elevator at like 5:00 in the morning, and I had to go talk to security because he was drunk and he wanted the film footage and all this other stuff. The loincloth thing. One year Billy brought an air horn into the casino.
Oh no.
For like a boat air horn. Yeah. So there's like a thing, please no air horns in the casino. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and they welcome you back every year. Yeah, I said that to the convention lady. I go, I don't know why you guys like us. She's like,
bringing a lot of money.
She's like, you're by far the most fun group that comes here. And I'm like, you mean fun by it gives your security something to do?
Sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, we bring a bunch of money into that place, like hundreds of thousands of dollars over 4 days. Go into that place. So,
yeah, they'll put up with a lot for that.
What's that?
They said they'll put up with a lot for that.
Oh. The first night I won $1,000 on a penny slot machine.
Jeez.
Some other guys won a couple grand.
Nothing.
No, I think I in total maybe came home with like 500 extra.
That's not bad.
The Billy was waiting for us to come down to set up the banquet. He didn't realize it. He was betting $33 a hit on the slot machine and won $3,029.95 or something.
That's awesome.
I know.
So it just wild, like, but yeah, it's nice to be there. They're super welcoming. There's everything that you could or need there, like multiple restaurants, multiple bars, all sorts of stuff. It's a ton of fun.
That's awesome. So far the whole time it's always been at the same place, same time every year.
No, so 2 years ago, it's been there at least 1 year. So 1 year they had some conflict. We went to a different place. But when it was point to point, we did some other hotels. And then 2 years ago, maybe for some reason, there was a hiccup in the system and they didn't block out the first 2 days. So then we had to stay in Marquette.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So then we stayed 2 nights in Marquette and then everybody had to move. So we're basically moving 120 trucks down to a totally different place, but via trails. Like it's a process. So like, all right, you're going to go this trail. And then an hour later, you're going this trail. And then an hour later, you're going the trail and maybe eat breakfast or take your time, maybe leave 2 hours later. Just so, because if somebody gets stuck and there's a group behind, they're just going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs. Like there's nothing to do.
Yeah. But for the most part, it's always been at this casino. It's more convenient to stay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Like there's a bunch of modified, obviously trucks, tons of stock trucks as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then you're already planning next year's already.
Yeah.
Next year, all the way to, the convention center's planned out to technically 2035 or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
I don't even know if I'll be doing it then. The hotel is done for 25, 26, 27.
Oh, wow.
All on the same weekend, all with the same amount of rooms. Yeah. And a bunch of people say, why is it only Raptors? And it's only Raptors because it sells out. Like,
yeah, you don't need to add anything to it.
Nope. And now there's more. I mean, this year is probably the best marketing year we could have asked for. Like, not that it really needed it, but the last few years have been not a ton of snow, and this year was just absolutely amazing. The videos that are coming out are insane.
Oh, yeah. Like, all the photos are perfect. Like, there's just that extra bit of snow just makes it look that much more photogenic.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's what the people are coming, So I think now we could have 10 years of bad snow and people would still be, we don't want to miss. This might be the year.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a group of people that want me to like raise the price to something insane to like
limit,
really just minimize the numbers and only have 40 trucks there. And I'm like, nah.
No, it's fun with all these
Yeah.
people on all the trucks.
I was saying you're probably at capacity, I would say, at this point, right?
Yeah.
I think we could do 150.
What are you at now?
Oh my.
128.
Oh, you're basically there. What's another couple?
Yeah. It's only 22 more trucks.
Yeah, if you can herd 130, you can herd 150.
It's just one more group.
Yeah.
And I just got to find 2 people that I trust, or 1.
It seems like it's already taken care of.
Yep. Basically already there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's a definite spectacle, and it's a really rare event, and it's the largest miles permitted event that the state of Michigan permits.
Huh.
Like so snowdrift is like the other big like snow motorsports type thing that is done in Michigan.
I'm not sure what that is.
So that's like a rally. So Pastrana, Ken Block used to go to this, Tanner Fouts, and all these guys. So it's like a mix between it's like rally racing, but in the snow. So there's jumping hills, doing all that other stuff, but on snow cover roads.
Oh.
So that's the other big one, but they're only doing, I think that route's only 100 miles maybe. It's like a stage rally.
Sure.
And it brings big name people. So, but it's nowhere near like the amount of people that, or trucks that, and miles that this goes. So,
awesome.
What other questions you got?
Where can all of our Raptor listeners find where this is for when they want to spend money and get in, but make sure they do it right away. Otherwise, they'll miss out.
Yeah. So Instagram, the _Snowball.
And there's no W. SNOBALL.
No W. That's
SNOBALL. Got it.
Yeah. Don't look up the Snowball with a W on Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
Or do.
Yeah. Now I have to.
Now you have to. Don't thank me. Or GLRE Offroad on Instagram, or runraptorrun.com. That's where all the information, all the registration stuff is posted there. Runraptorrun.com. But the information gets released on Instagram of like when registration will be, or on Facebook. They're all the same socials.
Sure.
Or they can send me a message and I can just point them that direction at the.Kanakry
on Instagram. Yep. And of course we'll tag you in all of the things that we post when I post, which is not often enough.
Yeah. You like things, but you don't post a lot.
I never post on Facebook ever. And Instagram is pretty rare. And then even the podcast Instagram is pretty terrible lately. Sure.
I feel like the only time I ever post on Facebook is for something either grid life related or truck related or something, or we're like on a trip somewhere.
Yep.
And whenever I do, my mom comments.
I love Patty so much. She comments on everything.
Did you hear?
She tried to defend me against a bot once, and it was the cutest thing in the whole world.
So this bot made a comment on one of the posts. It was like, "Oh, I like your car. You seem like a nice person. Maybe we should get to know each other. I'm just looking to be a friend," or like one of those types of posts, right? Yeah. And my mom comes on here and she's like, "Listen, lady."
Facebook, I think.
Yeah. "Listen, lady, he's already taken. Don't make me come to wherever you're at." And like, I'm like, I call her up. I'm like, "You know, that's a bot." My mom's like, "What's a bot?"
Well, yeah.
Patty defended my honor against a bot, and I'm just so touched.
She's like, "What's a bot? What does that mean?"
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure she has no idea that that's just bullshit.
No,
just making sure no one hits on my man, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Up until like 5 years ago, she said the internet was the devil.
What?
Well, sure. I mean, is she really wrong?
No, not really.
So, Yep.
Yeah. So besides Snowball, what do you got going on for this? What's your plan for 2024?
So I bought a bunch of parts for the 720. So
which we knew you would do.
Remember that car that I'm not going to use in time attack except for like one qualifying session and one podium sprints.
And he's bringing it back for time attack.
So carbon fiber, 765 front bumper, front splitter, more than likely 765 full carbon rear setup with the quad exhaust and all that other, if I can sell the rest of my other stuff.
No, I'm going to frame the old parts.
No, you're
add
not.
them to the collection.
No, they're too big. The BMW, if that EOS ever gets sorted, then we'll do some GLTC racing at the same time.
Hell yeah.
One of the Raptor guys sent me a stacker right before we signed on, so I got to inspect this thing to see if it's
I've been keeping an eye out.
Something that's feasible. Yeah, hopefully they're not $95,000 stackers like Jimmy's.
That's the problem. Is they're always $95,000, or they don't have a thing to allow for you to open your doors for your fancy ass cars.
But I think I would maybe be.
He doesn't want a fancy ass trailer for his fancy ass car.
You know, it's just the hidden cost. You know, if you want your 720S to have its doors be able to open in your trailer, then that's just what you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah. Or I just winch it up there and then call it a day.
Like a pour.
Oh my god.
So yeah, got to fix that. Got to fix the Mini you blew up.
I did not.
Who was driving?
When did it start misfiring?
Can I swim? Because that's bullshit.
No, this is a rated G. This is a rated G. Now he's got to edit that out.
Yeah, I got to edit all the swears.
The swear.
Now my mom won't listen.
To me, it just still runs. I don't know.
Oh my god!
It made it to the gas station.
Yeah. And I drove it into the lab.
He literally brought me on here just to rile me up about
my
Mini Cooper that he blew up and is refusing. Oh.
All right, let's be realistic here. If anybody blew it up, it was Robbie.
Oh, it was broken before I got it.
Dear people of the podcasting world.
Dear people.
Jason blew up the Mini Cooper. Not me, not Robbie, not Jess. Jason, Richard, Kanakry blew up my Mini Cooper.
This is fake news.
Making it 3 engines in 1 year.
At least it wasn't 4. It could have been 4 with the Raptor. That was close.
Could have been 4 fake
no,
news.
You know what? It's a new year, Robbie. He hasn't blown up any engines yet, so
that's a good start. That's a great start.
It's solid.
I want the BMW to be done so that we can switch it out with my Mini, and he can fix my flipping Mini Cooper.
Yeah, we're gonna put
K-swap.
I think we're gonna put like a hamster wheel in there. Then we're just gonna feed a gerbil.
You could Tesla swap it, yeah. We've gone down this path.
It's my British racing car. I want it back.
Interesting. Yeah. So, what are you going to? Which ones?
The only ticket I currently have is a Midwest Festival ticket.
You bought one?
Yeah.
Today?
No, because they Wednesday or whatever the hell day it came out. Because you had to buy them within 10 seconds, otherwise they sold out.
Did the Middo one sold out too?
Middo is not available yet.
Oh.
Yep. Just Midwest was what they were posting this week. Middo, I think, is the next one up. Actually, I took a screenshot of it. Not important.
I was like in a meeting and I wasn't talking and I just hit refresh. It popped up and I was like, oh, click, 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 click. This one, send. And I was going to buy CMP because Barge wanted a CMP ticket.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, I'm spending like $3,200 already. But so what? Rev Up Festival, Road America, Autobahn, and Pit Race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think the only one.
You're going to Pit Race. You have to go. It's so
far.
It's not. Just leave your crap here.
Topeka was far for us, and we go. Pit Race is so great.
That's at least late enough in the year that I could change my mind and do it.
you're going to change your mind.
I love
because right now it's going to be Midwest Festival, potentially Mid Ohio. The problem is with me for June is that it's going to be June 7th. What the hell? Yeah, 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah. That weekend.
Yeah, because I had a Raptor event.
But we're not going to Mid-O.
No, I had a Raptor event that we had all planned we were going to go to in Texas, and then the Grid Life stuff came out, and then I begged the guy to move the dates one weekend, and he's like, I can't. Like, oh yeah, you can. He's like, no, just don't go to your race. I'm like,
no.
This might be the year Dead Mouse comes.
It's true. It could be.
It could be.
I told Jabay that he really dropped the ball, that they should have done a metal festival this year, and then all the tickets could have been $666. He didn't think it was as funny, but I thought it was great. But yeah, so it's my June. It looks like Midwest Festival on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I fly to Europe on the 11th.
Oh yeah.
I get back like the 23rd, I think. That's not final yet. And then the 28th through the 30th is Mid Ohio. So if you need anything from me in June, it ain't happening.
Same. So we have festival, and then on the 21st, we ship all the trucks out to Vegas, and then we're doing off-road trip all the way back to the 30th. So Vegas, Yellowstone, Sand Hollow, and Utah, Badlands, all these other. It's like all these places that you don't want to go to just to go to, but we're there, so we're going.
That'll be awesome.
So should be fun. So probably
Are you going to Rev Up?
10 to 15 trucks. Yes, I'm going to Rev Up.
No, I'm not.
He's not.
No,
You're not?
No. Then I'll probably do Road America and then Autobahn, and then that might be it for Grid Life for me.
Why don't you just get a Rev Up HPDE ticket and then leave your crap here and fly back?
We'll see.
Get that.
Fantastic idea, Jason.
Yeah, get that. We could, if the Beamer's not working, I can just put it in a stacker and you could just drive home empty trailer.
Oh, there you go. We'll see how the spring goes with my spring testing.
I don't know what that really accomplishes. But
he would need his trailer to stay up here to drive back after Midwest.
Yeah, he would have to then bring it back. It's easier just to fly home, leave your trailer at the lab.
It's not a bad idea, Robbie.
That's a springtime problem to figure out.
Yeah.
But you'll be at Midwest Fest, what'd you say?
Yeah, Midwest Fest, Rev Up, North America. Not really,
Road America.
Road America. If I'm being honest, I'm not really looking forward to it all that much.
I think there might be some trauma.
I have some PTSD from that.
I get it. Mine's not to that scale, but I get it. Also, the price tag is always kind of a kick in the dick.
Yeah, but that place has always been expensive.
It is, and this will be a legitimate festival this year.
Yeah,
so it'll be good. It'll be awesome. But
I think the thing I was most annoyed about was they sent a message out and they were like, "Oh, by the way, if you don't do 2 festivals, your points don't count towards season points."
Oh, for real?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
For time attack, and I had already planned. So I was going to do Rev Up, Gingerman, Autobahn, Pit Race. So I was just going to do 4.
Yep.
And then they send us out
I'll say you're not looking at enough festivals there.
Yep. They send us out the morning before, or the morning of registration. Kyle posted this, and I'm like,
son of a bitch.
Are you serious right now? So I remember calling Alex. I'm like, they said that you have to have 2. And I'm like,
so now we're going to Road America.
I'm like, because in my brain, I'm like, okay.
Because we can't go to CMP anymore because of a conflict.
Yeah, because the rallies are in CMP. Because that was the other plan. We were going to go to CMP. So, I don't know. I like Autobahn. I think it'll be good that it's not in the dead of summer.
Yeah, it won't be 118 degrees.
Yeah. Road America's good. I mean, it definitely suits the car. I probably won't be doing a ton of laps in it.
Sure.
I'll probably switch to stock tune on the BMW, do a bunch of stuff in it. And then just use that for one qualifying session and one podium sprint session and let the cards lay where they are. I don't know. But yeah, it's just trying to figure out tires and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Is this Vitor P1 going to be a fast tire or not, or is it just fast compared to the other 200 treadwears?
Yeah, that's hard to say at this point. Two people seem pretty high on it.
I tried to. Some guy sent me a message, added me to the group. I was like, if you want to send me a set, here's my credentials. Like, and then he said, well, when are you going to buy a pair? I'm like, I'm not buying anything.
Oh, you want to be part of this team or what?
Yeah, you can send a pair, and I'll run them at Rev Up, and we'll see how they are versus the Supercar 3Rs.
Yep.
But yeah, so it should be good. Got a Raptor event, couple more rallies. So rally around Lake Michigan basically in July, I think, and then loop out of Vegas and back probably October. I think October.
Yeah.
Because she's going to some emo concert in Vegas.
That sounds great.
So,
is that like the when we were young festival?
That's exactly what it is, Robbie.
That sounds awesome. Except for the fact that there's like 6 stages and all my favorite bands play all at the same time on 6 different stages. It's like the Warp Tour. Yeah, it's a Warp Tour all over again.
Sounds like you need to buy a ticket and then just rent Hertz Mustang GT and come on the rally. Because you know what happens? Because if you blow up that, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, that's true. If I blow up the Mustang, yeah. I thought you were doing a New York rally.
We are in April. Why? Are you coming?
No.
The 12th to the 19th or 16th or something like that. So Pittsburgh to Catskills to Central Park, Manhattan to Philly.
Man, I've driven those roads. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but have you driven them?
No. I was
20 other supercars going into Central Park?
No, I drove the cheapest rental I could find.
Sounds about the same rate that we're going to be going.
Yeah, that's bumper to bumper traffic.
We're going to Rob's Fish Market, bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be a solid plan.
Yeah, no, my schedule's super swamped already, so we'll see how the year shakes out.
So is mine, but I just keep adding more.
It's great.
We have a ski race that got canceled this weekend, but yet we're still going skiing. So,
well, yeah, you gotta get practice for the next competition.
Yeah, I'm old. I don't need practice. I'm not going to get any better.
That's not true. We can always get better.
Maybe. What about you? What are you doing this summer?
Yeah, he's not asking me. You don't care about what I'm doing.
No one on the interwebs cares about me and what I do.
With that attitude,
yeah. See, yeah. You're like the poster in my You're like the poster in my garage. No one cares, but people care.
I will be supporting your race endeavors and keeping your head on straight with all of your rallies.
That's a tall task.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that's like it's no big deal. But when I one time said I wasn't going to come to a race, he got real sad and upset. So.
No, I was like happy.
He was sad and upset because he knew that was the race I wasn't going to.
I didn't know who was going to make my Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwich.
Thank you.
It's a joke.
You just come over to our paddock and we'll make you hash browns and eggs.
I make you freaking hash browns and eggs every fucking morning.
What do you mean our paddock? I thought you already claimed us.
Yeah, that's why you can't go away. You have to just come over to Dalton's trailer. That we'll have the Hatchula. It'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Hatchula. I gotta look and see how my Kickstarter is going on that.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I think we did a show. I think that's a full show.
Yeah, how long was it?
An hour 24.
Oh, you got these little shows now.
Yeah, we're doing short shows now. I'm double dipping on the same day, doing 2 shows at once. So now I can extend how long I have shows. But that way, I'm not missing weeks. So
Yeah, true. You're almost to like slip angle.
This could have been 4 shows if we really tried.
Could have been.
We could have done. We could have done. Yeah, we could have done a show about Snowball. We could have done a show about racing. It's been a whole thing.
We could have done a whole show about how you blew up my car.
We did.
Yeah,
it's called Savage Rally. Look it up.
Yeah, and there was probably falsehoods said about me.
That's not how I remember that narrative.
I don't remember it either.
Oh my God. All this, every time you mention me on these podcasts, there's some untruths to it. I'm going to go back and listen to all of them, and we're going to have a show of me correcting his inaccurate portrayal of me.
Yeah, but that sounds boring.
Yeah, no one wants to hear that.
Nobody wants the boring.
We're here for a story and a good time.
We got to make this story a real story. Like,
they are real stories, but you don't want them to put you in a bad light. Like you blew up the Mini Cooper.
I didn't, though. Do all these people know that the Omni sold?
No, they do not. You sold the Omni.
Yeah, sold the Omni.
My favorite race car, and you sold it.
Yep. To some guys are going to run it in Lemons, so it'll probably be Gingerman Lemons race in May. So hopefully they do well.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, disappointed that it didn't go to a listener and or Adam, but it is what it is.
But these guys actually made me a real offer.
That's fair. We only gave you shit offers.
Not like
25.
What did he say? It was like 2,000 or 2,500 and a keg of root beer.
I was gonna say, how many kegs of root beer was he gonna give you?
I think he offered you 2,500 and I offered you 2,600.
Yeah, I mean it was really appealing for about negative 3 seconds. No, I mean, let's be realistic. What would he have done with it? Like,
I don't know. What would I have done with it? Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. What did I do with it?
Nothing.
Yeah, see, that's a problem.
It kept the concrete in my storage unit from floating away.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about something we really need to make happen, I need to buy that car from Jeremy Salinas.
Which car?
I can't talk about it on the podcast.
Well, then what are we bringing up on the podcast for?
Yeah, why?
We're still recording. All right. Thank you.
Nope. That Ferrari F355.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That he's working on. Yeah, he needs to sell that to you.
He does. Because I want to make that into an unlimited time attack car with a plaid motor.
No, don't do that. Now I don't want him to sell it to you.
I want
to
a full
end this
on
podcast before it gets more ridiculous.
I want a full on sacrilege, everybody. I would show up with this red Ferrari F355 that goes.
Okay, I can get behind that attitude.
It would be fun. I got many people that want in on this.
All right, we'll have to poke Jeremy a little bit.
You know what we don't need is another time attack car.
Sure you do.
Yes.
You need more. You need more projects. Did you not listen to E-Man's episode last week? You guys don't have enough projects.
I mean, I do. I have kind of gotten behind this Copart thing. So Damien bought a 36-foot enclosed trailer from Copart.
Yep.
I didn't even know they had trailers.
Oh, they had everything, man. It's a dangerous website.
For $4,000. It's a 2022.
It's like destroyed.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it looks like it's got hail damage.
That's fine.
You can't even get a flatbed trailer for $4,000.
No, you cannot.
Rip the walls off. So,
yeah. So it's nice to know that you'll be on Copart now.
Yeah, Roger, the guy that you met that got his Raptor stolen out there. The Raptor's on Copart right now for $300.
His Raptor.
Yep.
Oh man.
For $300, they found it. It was like sitting, just randomly parked on the side of the road for a month.
It was used for a crime and then just abandoned.
Yeah, they don't know if it was used for a crime or not, but it was definitely just abandoned. So
weird.
Like, it's kind of bizarre.
They didn't put that many miles on it, so I don't know how.
It only had like 16 miles on it. It's like they stole it because they could.
And then panicked.
It.
Weird.
It's weird. Very strange. So,
anyways. But yeah, again, thank you guys for coming on and sharing your experience with Snowball. I appreciated the invite, even though I did not take it. It did sound cold.
The last time it's going to happen.
Wow.
We're moving on.
You can move on. I'm not moving on. Jess is still my friend. I don't care what you say.
Nope. not move on.
All right. Yeah. We'll I'll for sure see you in June. Because that's
June.
That's the next one I have on the schedule. I know. I guess what we'll do. I do need test days, so there you go.
Rev up.
When's rev up? May.
Yeah, like the 18th or something.
That's not out of the question. That
probably cheap.
Unless
I bet there's probably still tickets available.
I don't know if that one's even available yet. I know they did. They have a schedule when they're like making tickets super early, so we'll find out if that sells out. But
I mean,
I would imagine the club events aren't going to sell out quite as fast as the festivals, but who knows?
Yeah, I agree. You got to do that though. The earlier you sell them, the more interest you can make on that monies.
Yep, smart.
But yeah, I mean, hope to see you soon. Hopefully, rev up, if not before.
Yeah, definitely.
So, alrighty.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys, and we'll catch all the listeners next week.